Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time once again to circle the wagons because the Coon Prairie Ramblers are in the house.
Yeah, we are. A couple of us anyway.
Yeah, actually, we're in the
Last Chapter Coffee House and Cafe on Oak Street.
Yeah.
Who's here today?
Who's here? We got KC. No, we don't have KC in the moonshine.
We don't have KC.
Yeah, KC has left us.
Yep, we got Mailman.
We got the Mailman, and we got Luke.
Rebel Without a Clue.
Rebel Without a Clue.
But as you know, or if you've heard by now, or if you haven't, we're sorry to tell you, but Casey is no longer with us. Casey and the Moonshine Gang have left the building, left the coffee shop, left the radio station, left this world for a better place. And we're very sorry to see him go, but we're going to kind of dedicate this segment or maybe the whole program to him and talk about him a little bit.
He's stepping on clouds.
That's right. That's the thing about it. He suffered from MS for years and years and years and years. I remember when he was first started struggling to walk, he was using with a cane, then it went to a walker, eventually a scooter, and he can still get around now and then, even in recent months and years, to get up if he had to use a walker, and we were grateful for that. But it's been a long, slow battle with him, and then, of course, he incurred cancer, and that's what took him away from us on St. Paddy's Day.
St. Paddy's Day, Saturday.
St. Paddy's Day, yep.
Yeah. You know, I intended to go see him when he was in hospice, but he went so fast.
He did.
I delayed too long, but
he went down pretty quickly. Unfortunately, I'd called him about 2 weeks before he passed away, and I thought either he sounded really tired or else I'd woken him up. I didn't ask, and he didn't say, so we only talked for about 5 minutes. But he seems to be in good spirits.
You know, all the times I would pick him up at his house and bring him to the radio station to record our Coon Prairie Ramblers, we talked a lot, and he always said that he really didn't like to talk on the phone. Phone wasn't really...
Right.
Yeah. Two weeks ago, I had called him, too, and he didn't really seem like he... You know, I had the feeling that, he just really wasn't with it, wanting to talk on the phone. And I meant to go see him, but I don't know, maybe things were for the best. Yeah,
probably so. I'd went down there to see him, but he was there, but he wasn't. But you don't know how far gone somebody is. You have various levels of consciousness.
Yeah. And
people, even in the medical profession, sometimes say that the hearing is the last to go. So went down there and visited and said goodbye, and I took my guitar down there and did a few songs that I know Casey liked.
Yeah.
wasn't easy to do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's one thing we did in our. I got to know KC mainly through transportation. Picking him up at the house and taking him to see. We did a lot of talking over those 3 years.
Sure, and all that time was gone. I'd bring him to the coffee shop on Mondays and Fridays. So we had a lot of conversations there.
Yeah.
Which were never recorded, and probably for good reason.
Did you sing a lot of songs on the way?
We did. Well, you know how Casey was. You'd be talking about anything, serious or not, and if something reminded him of something, he would just break into song. I'm bad about doing that, too. We both did it. If you listen to the old radio program, you'll hear both of us doing it, and I'll probably doing it even more now.
Yeah, it was songs.
Well, he had a true affection for music.
Yeah.
He loved music. He loved older country music. He loved gospel music. He liked good old-fashioned rock and roll, and so that gives him a pretty wide spectrum to choose a song from to break out into.
Right.
He knew a lot about music and the artists and who wrote this and who wrote that. So it was always fun talking music trivia with him. Something I enjoy myself.
And I learned a lot doing Coon Prairie Ramblers with you and KC. Song-wise, there's so many songs you guys would break out into a song. I'm sitting there thinking, I never heard that thing in my life.
Well, sometimes we like the tracks that were on the record that never got airplay. Sometimes those are the best songs, or the side B of the 45 that nobody ever played. A lot of good music there too.
Yeah, it was. I learned a lot. In fact, as far as the way we conducted the show, I always felt like I was the foil. Or I was the dumb guy that asked questions like, like
the straight guy or something.
Yeah, the straight guy. How do you make that stuff? Does that taste good? Or
kombucha and all that.
Yeah, or where'd that song come from?
I hope you didn't think we were picking on you. We were just having fun at your expense. or
No,
whatever.
it was fun, and it just kind of fell that way. That was the easy route to go.
Well, that's what made it, I think, a good fix, or a good mix, or a good recipe, whatever you want to call it. I think everybody brought something different to the table, and it worked out pretty good. KC, with his infinite wisdom, being the sage of Nocatee.
Yeah.
So he had a lot to offer, not just about his own life or whatever, but he just had a great philosophy about living and things like that. And if you were his friend, you were his friend.
Yeah. And he was a cowboy. I was the northerner. Not a Yankee. I'm not a Yankee. I'm a wood.
He keeps saying that. Me and KC used to give him the devil about being from the Midwest, but and I'm not a cowboy. I mean, I'm certainly not a redneck. I'm a local yokel whose family goes back here to the Civil War times, at least. So, but I think there's a difference between being a country person and being a redneck.
I always thought of you as being an urbane local yokel.
Urbane, yeah, there you go. I like that. Like an urbane cowboy.
Yeah.
Oh, there I go breaking into song. I better quit that.
Yeah.
Urbane.
Yeah, and then I was always a guy that didn't know as much as you guys about the local stuff.
Sure, it was.
And you guys were always educating me about what Coon Prairie was, or.
Well, when we've talked about that, I would be looking over at you, and you listen with great intentness, no matter what, because you're sitting there, you're like a sponge. You're just looking and absorbing, and you do that with great patience. And not only on the radio programs we were talking, but when we get at the coffee shop and other places, when people are talking, telling those stories, I can look over at you, and you're just absorbed. You're not saying anything. You're very quiet. You're just sitting there taking it all in, and we kind of wish you were here to grow up with us back in the day.
And me too. The radio show made me want, why wasn't I born here? Why didn't I go to high school here?
Well, in all your travels, I mean, your world travels, like you wrote about in your book, all the places you went and stuff, you should have wandered down here.
Yeah. I'm surprised that didn't happen. This would have been a great place to wander to.
Oh yeah, it'd been cool if you would have. But KC's family goes way back. The Carltons were pioneers here in Southwest Florida. I mean, he had relatives that fought during the Seminole Indian Wars.
Yeah,
and he's told us about that numerous times or whatever. But Carltons are part of the foundation of DeSoto County, which we said before used to be a lot larger than when it was. It was created in 1887, and it included what is now DeSoto, Charlotte, Hardee, Glades, and Highlands County. So it stretched from here all the way over to Lake Okeechobee, and way to the north, way to the south. It was a lot bigger. But KC's people came down here, and they're credited for settling the areas of Nocatee. Nocatee back in the day was known to be a swamp and very watery. I mean, there was water everywhere, and they had to dig canals and sloughs and things like that to basically drain it towards the river so it could even be inhabited. And then the people started settling here at Nocatee, but the Carltons were the pioneers that helped do some of that.
Hey, I'd known you for several years, just kind of
in passing.
Yeah, in passing. I mean, you knew who I was, I knew who you were, and I can't remember how it all started.
I don't either.
But with KC, it began at the Brew Crew.
Coffee shop here in
somebody, I don't know, maybe you said something about the Brew Crew, maybe you coined the term and put it on Facebook or something, or email. It was about 5 years ago or so.
We started Brew Crew in October of 2011.
Okay, so somewhere along the line I heard there was Brew Crew down at the Last Chapter coffee shop, so I ventured down here one morning. There was KC sitting at the end of the table, and you were sitting next to him, and then next to you was Todd Backer.
Well, you got a good memory.
And I remember the first thing I ever heard KC say, he looked over you and whispered, but I heard it, he says, "Who's that guy?"
Man, you got a good memory. Like a steel trap.
And then Todd Backer sat next to you, and he immediately started telling me the history of the Brew Crew.
Of course.
The Brew Crew only existed, it was only 3 people at that time.
Wow. Well, how the Brew Crew got started, KAC and I, of course, we go way back. I've known him for many years, both being from Nocatee. But when this Facebook thing came out and we became Facebook friends, we sort of chat on the side with a little messenger thing. And we did that for a while.
Wait a minute. Before we go on, we're going to have to take a break here.
All right, let's do it.
We'll be back in a flash.
In our shorts. I'll stay tuned. We'll be right back.